Admiral William H. McRaven, A Profile in Maverick Military Leadership. Presentation by Jeff Kreider. Over the course of this presentation, we'll go over some background information on Admiral McRaven, as long as covering some of his military strategies, styles, behaviors, and qualities, some strategic operational successes, a conclusion, and then the references. What makes a truly great military leader? Is there a common list of characteristics that one could emulate and embody to follow the mold of past great military leaders? The simple answer is no. Part of what makes a great maverick military leader is their ability to identify areas of application and adapt to their circumstances. That's not to say that truly great maverick military leaders should not look to past mavericks for inspiration. As President John F. Kennedy once said, leadership and learning are indispensable of each other. As the author of the textbook for special operations, Admiral William McRaven embodies what it means to be a maverick military leader. Considering the highly secretive and vastly different arena that special operations forces operate in, it takes a true maverick leader whose grit, ingenuity, and integrity and perseverance are second to none. This look at Admiral William McRaven illustrates his dynamic ability to espouse the military strategies, leadership styles, leadership qualities, and behaviors of classic maverick leaders and adapt to the unique challenges faced in the arena of special forces while upholding the highest ethical standards. What began as his thesis paper for the Naval Postgraduate School was later published and is used as the standard text when teaching special operations forces. Admiral McRaven's book, Spec Ops, is a case study of 8 historical special operations and has since become the defining text for teaching special operations. The book is a historical analysis that outlines what Admiral McRaven identifies as the 6 principles of special operations. These principles are McRaven's prescription for how small special operations units can overcome much larger forces by employing simplicity, security, repetition, surprise, speed, and purpose. Admiral McRaven's 6 principles are a departure from classical strategic theories like von Clausewitz, who defines greater numbers as a requirement for tactical success in overcoming the enemy's defense. Admiral McRaven is a true situational leader cut from the mold of George Washington. Admiral McRaven stressed the importance of knowing and maintaining a relationship with your people while maintaining what he refers to as professional distance, as not to create any errors in judgment. Admiral McRaven's candid style allows him to gain the respect of those serving with and under him, and his demonstrated grit and integrity motivates them to carry out his orders. The rapport Admiral McRaven develops with his subordinates is reminiscent of George Washington following the surprise attack at Trenton, New Jersey, where Washington was able to inspire and connect with his men against all odds. Oddly enough, one of the common behavioral aspects of a maverick military leader is a record of insubordination and questioning authority in their own rise to the top. In that regard, Admiral McRaven certainly makes the grade. Much like the way that General MacArthur stood up to President Truman, ultimately got himself fired, Admiral McRaven has never been one to shy away from speaking truth to power and exhibit insubordinate behavior when it was in the service of executing his duties. One such occasion was not long after completing SEAL training. Admiral McRaven was picked by Commander Richard Mashenko to lead the new Naval Special Warfare Development Group. Mashenko's wild and often inappropriate styles and mannerisms conflicted with McRaven, who was vocal about his disapproval of Mashenko's propensity to disregard the rules. Despite McRaven holding the moral high ground, the disagreement culminated with his firing after only a year. In the military, a firing of that nature typically would have been career-ending, but McRaven's demonstrated otherwise exemplary record allowed him to recover and continuing making his way up the ranks. In what's considered to be the seminal work on maverick military leadership, Robert Harvey identifies 16 qualities displayed by maverick leaders. Admiral McRaven, throughout his long and prestigious career, has embodied all of them in one fashion or another. Whether it was his ability to display courage and think cool-headedly in battle during the operation that captured Saddam Hussein, the rescue of Captain Phillips from Somali pirates, or the raid that killed Osama bin Laden, Admiral McRaven's impressive resume of Spec Ops theory in practice are the quintessential examples of cool-headed courage in battle. Much like the way General Patton would lead from the front with his leadership on display for all to see, so would Admiral McRaven. One such occasion was the raid that killed Osama bin Laden, where Admiral McRaven's real-time brief to the president was described as being, quote, like Walter Cronkite, completely calm. Another key trait of Maverick military leaders is their dedication to their men. Just as the Iron Duke of Wellington was able to maintain the highest level of morale through bonds that he formed with his men, to the point they would say if you would ask them to carry the moon, they would. So was Admiral McRaven. The Navy SEAL who was credited with the kill shot on bin Laden once tweeted that Admiral McRaven was born to lead this mission. I'll follow him anywhere. Operation Neptune Spear is what Admiral McRaven will be most remembered for, since it yielded the death of the most wanted man in the world, Osama bin Laden. Even though, during the op, a helicopter crash, prompting one spectator on the video call to nearly get sick, Admiral McRaven stuck to his 6 principles and continued with the successful operation. Admiral McRaven's 6 principles are absolutely contrary to the conventional wisdom regarding warfare from great thinkers like Karl von Clausewitz. And despite this fact, Admiral McRaven was able to obtain what he refers to as relative superiority to overcome the enemy's defenses without massive maneuver. Part of what makes this operation a thing of wonder was Admiral McRaven's precise planning and high ethical standards. The Admiral knew the stakes were high and yet planned the operation with surgical precision as not to engage the Pakistanis or cause any unintended civilian casualties and start an international shootout that could lead to war. Against all odds, the mission was a success when they heard confirmation, Geronimo EKIA, enemy killed in action. Bin Laden was dead. Over a career that spanned the course of more than 3 decades, Admiral William McRaven has accomplished enough to be the subject of several movies, some of which have already been produced, like Captain Phillips and Zero Dark 30, with highlights including leading the mission that resulted in the location and capture of Saddam Hussein during the Iraq War, leading the operation that rescued Captain Phillips from Somali pirates, and perhaps most famously, leading the operation that resulted in the killing of Osama bin Laden. Admiral McRaven's career bullet points seems more like reading a comic book hero's resume. The mark Admiral McRaven will leave on this world will far exceed what he did in the military as the Chancellor of the University of Texas system. The commencement speech he gave in 2014 has been viewed by millions of viewers and has been published into a book titled after his catchy theme, Make Your Bed, the little things that can change your life and maybe the world. Serving as a living, breathing example of Harvey's qualities of maverick military leaders, and having quite literally written the book on Special Operations Warfare, Admiral William McRaven, and the long legacy of leadership he continues to leave will be studied for generations as possibly one of the greatest military leaders of all time. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, and I thank you for watching. Here you can find the list of references used for the creation of this presentation. Please note the background music was used with no license required from YouTube. Thank you and have a great day.